crystals dipped in white gravy with small tots for $4.99 for a limited time only. Country Fried Steak Crystal.
Help us fight for life and train the CSRA. Contact the American Heart Association for details.
Follow News 1226 on Instagram to see what's trending in your area.
You want local news that impacts you?
We've got you covered.
We're on your side.
On your side, this is News 12 First at 5.
First at 5, a company in Colombia about to be on the front lines in the fight against coronavirus. We'll tell you about their role in getting you a vaccine.
And one person is dead after a fire at a home outside of Aiken. We're going to hear from a neighbor. But first, breaking news, we're learning the identity of the man found dead in Edgefield County yesterday. The coroner says 35-year-old Jeremy Clinton Lawton of Aiken died of a gunshot wound to the head. They are calling it a homicide.
He was found around 5:30 yesterday morning in a field along McCrate Road near Ridgeview Lake Road, and deputies say they're looking now to question a man seen on Ridgeview Lake Road around 8 o'clock that morning because they say he may have information in the case. We'll let you know as soon as we learn more. Another suspect arrested related to the murder of 12-year-old Edward McKenzie Jr., the young student killed in his own home by gunfire from outside. Jennifer Oakman is charged with accessory to murder and accessory after the fact, as well as DUI. Investigators are still looking for one more suspect in this case. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Demetrius Williams, contact the Aiken Department of Public Safety. The multi-agency investigation into a fatal fire continues in Aiken this evening. Multiple neighbors say they called 911 after hearing a loud boom.
Aiken County deputies and the center firefighters found 3 people. News 12 Celeste Springer reports from the scene.
Neighbors say a quiet morning here on Gregory Road was interrupted by multiple booms coming from the house down the road behind me. The fire here killing one person. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office says they got the call around 7:30. They say when they got here, the house was fully engulfed in flames. Inside, 3 people. One of them didn't make it out alive. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office says SLED is assisting in the investigation to figure out exactly what happened here to cause the fire. A neighbor next door was woken up by the booms and was one of the first at the scene trying to help the 3 people inside.
It shocked me and surprised me, to be woken up by an explosion. I thought, that we were going to war with another country. That's what it sounded like,
The Aiken County Sheriff's Office is still trying to determine what was the cause of that fire. But coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll hear more from the neighbor who busted into action trying to save the 3 people left inside. In Aiken, Celeste Springer on your side.
And an autopsy tomorrow will confirm who died in the fire. The coroner will release the identity after that.
It has been a busy afternoon on I-20, but as you see there, traffic is moving again after a crash earlier on the Savannah River Bridge. This camera view courtesy of EarthCam. This was a 5-vehicle accident on the eastbound side, blocking both lanes. That's the lane there on the left side of your screen. But the backup caused delays back on Riverwatch Parkway and then back further to Washington Road. But as you can see here, traffic is heavy, but moving again over those bridges. Riley, and that sun is just about to dip below that tree line there.
It is, Richard. Another fantastic day for us and a beautiful sunset just ahead. We were just talking about that accident. It was about right here, and it was just before we got on air here at 4 o'clock, and did involve a number of cars, so hopefully everyone is okay. We are at the low 70s currently after seeing highs in the mid-70s this afternoon. So we did bump up those highs just a little bit today, and the air is not quite as dry for us, and that's why we're actually expecting low temperatures tonight to generally stay in the 40s for most of the area. Our temperatures currently across the area are in the mid to upper 60s if you live in the northern CSRA. You can see 64 up there in Washington, same thing in Saluda. The further south you go is where you're going to encounter some slightly warmer temperatures, and that's going to be the trend through tonight. Now we have another opportunity to actually see the International Space Station again tonight. This one starts at 6:17 p.m. and it only lasts 3 minutes, so you do have to be punctual. It does have a pretty good max height though, so it should be visible to all of us. Just walk out at 6:17, look towards the western sky, and you can actually use your iPhone to tell you which direction to look. High school football games, the forecast looks perfect for that as well. We're expecting kickoff temps near 60. Towards the end of those games, generally the mid-50s, but not too bad out there. Have a look at the weekend forecast in just a little bit.
Mayor Davis speaking today on the pandemic. He says testing rates are declining across the Peach State, but test positive rates are not.
When you look at the number of cases just over this last 14-day period of time, we have reason to be concerned. Georgia has seen stability in new cases and an increase in test positivity, suggesting that there is in fact under-testing.
Mayor Davis says Richmond County deputies will show up at places to make sure the mask ordinances are being followed, and people who don't follow them face possible fines.
All eyes on Georgia for the upcoming, talking about full transparency in the runoff election. He was talking about the way being paved now for the Trump administration to come in for a recount. You've got to remember this last go around, that was a state law that was changed. That was not a recount called for by the president. So that can still happen as these votes are certified. But some interesting commentary, but not a lot of pathway forward and clarity about what happens now.
Legally, Georgia's election is now certified so that the Trump camp can call for that recount, which is within a close enough margin to do. Also calling for full transparency in the runoff election, which of course will happen in January, saying we will continue to follow the law. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale.
Well, guys, we are less than a week away from Thanksgiving, and we're starting to understand more what we're expecting. We'll take a look at that Turkey Day forecast coming up.
Admission is just $10, and kids under 12 get in free. Proceeds will benefit the Children's Hospital of Georgia. Gates open at 9 a.m. For more information, visit WesternCarolinaAntiqueTractorPull.com.
Get ready for the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. It's kicking off tomorrow in our area, so you can expect to hear the bells ringing soon. In Albany, Georgia, volunteers are already out there ringing those bells.
Bobby Portavent has the story of a volunteer who went above and beyond when someone had the audacity to steal his kettle.
See me ringing the bell, and if they got some change that they can put in the bucket.
Larry Adams has been a volunteer for 2 years with the Salvation Army.
How you doing, sir?
And greeting dozens, if not hundreds, a day.
Have a good evening.
On Saturday, one not-so-nice but naughty crook tried to take his bucket, but he wasn't having that.
All of a sudden, I just got up and, I couldn't catch him.
The crooks tried to get away in an older, whitish Chevrolet truck, but they underestimated Larry. He says he leaped through the driver's side window as the crooks started to drive away. An eyewitness says the 65-year-old was dangling from the vehicle.
So the only thing I could do is just grab the steering wheel, and we went down the road, I was pulling the steering wheel, and, he stopped and gave him my bucket back.
The crooks drove away and left the scene. According to the police report, a woman snatched the bucket and ran to a man driving the truck. Albany police are still investigating the case. Larry says he's never experienced anything like that before, and that short ride shook him up. But luckily, he had no injuries.
I wasn't really thinking. I don't know whether I was scared or not,
The only thing on his mind was saving that bucket.
That bucket, it means a lot to me. And the money that's in it, it means a lot to someone else.
Larry says he finished out his shift that day at the Albany Mall and hasn't missed a beat since.
And he's right. That money does mean a lot to a lot of people.
Absolutely. And the audacity of some people, but don't mess with his bucket. He's going to protect it.
That Grinch got busted right there. Okay, nobody likes spending the holidays alone, so maybe you'll consider stopping by Augusta's Animal Services tomorrow to bring home a new friend for Thanksgiving week. From noon until 4, you can pick up a pet to foster over the holidays. If you end up wanting to bring it back, you could drop it off next weekend, so it could be a nice trial run. Organizers do say fosters usually end up falling in love, so be warned.
And taking a look outside over Wheeler Road this afternoon on a cool day, but pretty gorgeous out there, Riley.
Definitely was. We have been spoiled all week long with fantastic weather all the way since this past Monday. And nice again out there this evening, watching the sun dip below the horizon here. Once the sun does go down, it is going to be a little bit on the cool side this evening, so you may need a jacket if you're planning to step out. But currently, 72, not feeling too bad. We actually did see high temperatures back getting above average out there earlier today. Friday night football game's looking good to go. Clear skies, very calm winds, and temperature-wise, a little bit of some cool air there. Not necessarily all too chilly, but since the sun's not going to be out I would wear a light jacket because it could be a little bit of a chill out there if you're heading out to those. Tomorrow morning, we're expecting low temperatures generally in the mid to upper 40s across most of the area. So not quite as cool of a start. We've actually been down in the 30s the past few mornings, so staying away from that and expecting mainly 40s through the weekend for low temps. Long forecast looking good on Saturday as well. High temperatures expected to be similar to what they were today, mid to low 70s across the board, and plenty of sunshine later into the afternoon. But early into Saturday morning, could have to battle a few clouds out there. Nothing all too heavy though. For the rest of the weekend, on Sunday, we're just expecting a few more clouds to show up. So throughout the day Sunday, actually expecting more clouds than sun, but not expecting rain. We should remain dry through the weekend. Those high temperatures not expected to change all too much, generally mid to low 70s both afternoons. Rain chances are going to remain very low through the weekend. I did put a 10% chance for rain on Sunday. That's mainly for Sunday night and Monday morning as a weak front does move on through. The first part of next week does look dry, but Wednesday into Thursday of next week is when we're going to be tracking a cold front, and the eventual timing and speed of that front is going to determine when exactly we do see rain. So what we're looking at here, this is just one model's interpretation, so definitely not setting in stone. This is not necessarily a forecast, but just showing you a general idea of what's expected to happen. So this is the front moving through, and then once the rain moves past you, then you dry out. This one particular model keeps us dry through most of the day on Thursday, and most of that rain happening late Wednesday into early Thursday. So as of right now, Thanksgiving not looking too bad. We may have to battle some showers, at least for the first half of the day, but at least the afternoon looks dry, and those temperatures looking on the warmer side should see highs at least into the 70s for us. Nice weather sticking around through the weekend. Remember, just a few more clouds showing up by Sunday. But overall, over the next 7 days, rain chances looking pretty slim.
Okay, Riley, thanks. Thanksgiving just days away, and people are coming together to make it a happy holiday for everyone. Hear what inspired the Josie High School class of '94 to get involved. That's coming up after a quick break.
0% for 72 months on new Hyundais. Taylor Hyundai, where you get a deal you'll feel good about.
So here we are, less than a week away from Thanksgiving, and not everyone will be able to celebrate it this year with family because of COVID.
The Josie High class holding their 10th annual Thanksgiving drive next week. As Wrdw reports, it's more important to them now than ever.
I passed the soup kitchen and the line was like down the street.
Shantae Bradley says within 10 years of feeding the community, she's never seen a demand for food quite like this.
To see that line, it was really heartbreaking, but it really made me say, listen, this is why the Feed the Community is needed.
A need she says they're hoping to fill. Posting signs all down 15th Street. Spreading the word now more than ever about how to get a warm meal on Thanksgiving Day.
So many people have been affected by job loss, loss of family. Typically, you have families that have hard times. This year, I think everybody's been affected.
She says the event will be held outside Josie High School, and because of the pandemic, they're expecting an even bigger crowd. Instead of distributing meals in the cafeteria like they've done in the past years, this year, they'll be bringing food to your cars.
If they have 4 or 5 people in the car, that's how many to-go plates we're going to do.
She says the number of families in need has jumped tremendously due to the pandemic. That's why they're working even harder.
You have another nail.
To fight back against hunger.
I just want to continue the tradition of showing love, showing people that, we're here for our community.
Full bellies and happy hearts. Wrdw on your side.
And that event will be next Tuesday at 10 a.m. at Josie High, and the organizer says they are expecting a really big crowd this year.
So if you'd like to contribute to the cause with giving things like turkeys, water, even plates, we have all the information for you on WRDW.com. Golden Harvest Food Bank hosting a 30,000-pound food giveaway tomorrow. The mobile market will be a drive-through at Uchee Creek Library in Grovetown starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, wrapping up around 1. Everyone in Georgia is welcome. Just make sure to bring an ID. The food bank expects to feed about 800 families.
Well, we are saying goodbye to the sun. Actually, timing this perfectly. Watching the last little bit get below the horizon there. Having a look at your weekend forecast coming up.
I approve this message.
If you have any plans to head up to the lake this weekend, water temperature is getting down into the mid-60s, so not quite swimming weather, but temperature-wise in the afternoon, not too bad. Upper 60s both Saturday and Sunday. More sun on Saturday compared to Sunday, but we should be dry through the weekend, so lake plans not looking too bad. Just feeling like November, upper 60s out there. But mainly mild temperatures across most of at least the eastern seaboard. You can see 50s found all the way up in Chicago, Buffalo, Boston coming into 59 this afternoon. And the front is basically dividing that cooler weather off towards our west. But another fantastic evening here. Looking at the clear skies through the overnight hours. But low temperature is not going to be quite as chilly for us. Most of us staying in the mid to upper 40s out there the next couple of mornings. Dry through the weekend, but as we head into next week, those rain chances will be going up by Wednesday.
Riley, thanks very much. First at 5 continues after a short break with back much more local news.